If you've been scrolling through endless video conference camera options and still feel stuck, this review is going to clear things up. I'm going to walk through what really matters in a meeting room sound system, from how the mic picks up voices across a room to whether the built-in speakers actually replace a separate audio setup. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks testing a handful of all-in-one conference kits in two very different environments, a cramped home office where I'm the only person on screen, and a medium-sized co-working conference room that seats 6 and has a whiteboard at the far wall. My goal wasn't just to see if the camera could deliver 4K video, I wanted to know whether the soundbar could capture a whole discussion without anyone shouting, and whether the speakers were loud enough for a quick huddle without having to crank up the volume on a separate speaker system. First off, the most noticeable thing about the ROCWARE RB10 kit is how it tries to bundle everything you need into a single USB device. Plug the cable into your laptop, power it from the same port, and the camera, microphone, and speaker all turn on. There's no need for a separate power brick, no tangled audio cables, and the software automatically detects the unit and offers AI-powered framing. In practice, that means the camera will automatically zoom in on whoever is speaking and keep them centered, even if they move from one side of the table to the other. In my home office, where I tend to pace while I think, the AI tracking was smooth enough that I never saw a moment where the frame lost me. In the larger room, the system managed to follow the speaker most of the time, but when two people spoke at once the camera occasionally switched back and forth, which is something to keep in mind if you have a very collaborative discussion style. Audio performance is where the all-in-one claim gets tested the hardest. The built-in soundbar is marketed as hi-fi with a 6-meter pickup radius. In a 6-person meeting, the mic captured every voice clearly, even the quieter participants at the back of the table. The soundbar projected the other end of the call at a volume that filled the room without distortion, and the bass was present enough to make a colleague's presentation video sound lively, but not so deep that it became boomy. If you're used to a separate conference speaker with a subwoofer, you'll notice that the RB10's bass is modest. It won't replace a dedicated home theater setup for movie nights, but it's more than adequate for spoken word content and slide decks. One practical strength that often gets overlooked in spec sheets is how the 120-degree wide-angle lens interacts with real-world lighting. In my co-working space, the windows on one side produced a bright backlight that could have washed out a standard camera. The AI framing algorithm automatically adjusted exposure and even raised the gain on the mic when the speaker moved into the brighter zone, keeping both image and audio consistent. That adaptability saved me from having to buy an extra ring light or external mic. On the flip side, there are a few compromises that come with the convenience factor. The RB10 only connects via USB, which means you can't hook it directly to a TV or an external streaming device that doesn't support USB video class. If your conference room already has an HDMI-based display system, you'll need a USB to HDMI adapter, adding another point of failure. Also, the remote control that comes with the kit is very basic. It lets you mute the mic and adjust volume, but it doesn't give you fine-tuned control over the AI zoom levels or angle. For most users that's fine, but power users who like to tweak settings on the fly might feel limited. Who should consider buying the ROCWARE RB10? If you run a small to medium-sized team that meets in a dedicated conference room, or if you're a freelancer who wants a tidy setup that looks professional on camera without a tangle of cords, this kit hits the sweet spot. The 4K resolution, AI tracking, and 6-meter audio pickup mean you can replace a separate webcam, microphone boom, and speaker with a single box, freeing up desk space and simplifying IT management. It also makes sense for hybrid classrooms where a professor needs to be seen and heard clearly by both in-room students and remote participants. Who should skip it? If you're looking for a high-end home theater soundbar, the RB10's audio range won't satisfy you. The bass is restrained and there's no dedicated subwoofer. Likewise, if your meeting rooms are larger than 12 feet or have highly reverberant acoustics, the 6-meter pickup might struggle to isolate voices, and you'll likely need a more powerful microphone array. Finally, organizations that already have an HDMI-centric AV infrastructure might find the USB-only connection a mismatch, requiring extra adapters that defeat the purpose of a plug-and-play solution. After a few weeks of daily use, the biggest takeaway for me is that the RB10 feels like a set-it-and-forget-it.